Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Budget Investing. Today I want to go over how we can make $1,000 a month with Nike. Before I do that though, I think it's best that we understand what Nike is as a company so that we know kind of what we're getting ourselves into today. So Nike is an American multinational corporation that engages in the design, development, manufacturing, and worldwide marketing and sales of footwear, apparel, equipment, accessories, and services. So really, in essence, if you don't know who Nike is, they make fitness apparel for you and I to wear. Probably some of the most common items being the sneakers that you probably see everywhere. So Nike has been around for more than 40 years, and of course, within the last year or so, they have hit that 52-week high, come down a little bit since then, but they are valuated at just under $200 billion, and their PE is around 30 right now, and their dividend yield is just under 1%. So in my opinion, with just a very high level view at them, they seem to be a great company for us to add to our portfolio, but do make sure you do your due diligence on them. Now, Nike has been steadily growing its revenue year after year for a very long period of time. And in comparison to 2011 to today, so over the last 10 years, they've more than doubled their revenue from roughly $20 billion up to $44 billion. Now, that's just truly an amazing return. So if you've been holding it for that period of time, you would have really reaped the benefit of some serious improvements in that time. Now, Nike has been around for an extremely long period of time, but they really did break into the market and really start to make their mark with this kind of landmark commercial that I wanted to share with you.
I run 17 miles every morning. People ask me how I keep my teeth from chattering in the wintertime. I leave them in my locker.
Now, while Nike has, of course, been a very revolutionary company over these last few decades, and they've made some amazing strides, they've also not been afraid to steer into controversy. Now, as probably many people remember with Colin Kaepernick, one of the football players in the NFL, who was kneeling during the national anthem, Nike actually went out and continued to sponsor him. And they reach out, and they're the company that sponsors people who maybe don't fit the status quo, and they might not fit into the perfect mold of what we have traditionally thought was normal or perfect for a sport or whatever. But they seem to be the ones that are always jumping in and not being afraid to kind of get their feet wet and get their clothes dirty. They really want to be there to support people, and they want to stand up for a bigger picture. And while in the short term they might get a lot of flack when they end up standing up for these situations, but at the end of the day, they always rebound back bigger and better and stronger from it. And that kind of perseverance and strong backbone has helped Nike to continue to grow into the behemoth that they are today. That sounds all fine and dandy, but over the last 6 months or so, they've gone down 29, nearly 30% in value. What is going on? Obviously, they're experiencing some issues because of the pandemic and having factories closed. They're experiencing some supply chain issues. So what are they going to do to change that? And how are they going to continue putting money in my pocket going forward? Because ultimately, that's why I would purchase a company like Nike. I want them to make me money. Now, on top of the pieces that Nike already does, such as their shoe deals and their sponsorship with professional athletes, and all of the apparel that they sell, which obviously brings in a lot of money, Nike is really putting a huge emphasis in growing their online presence. They have a sneaker app where they do all of their sneaker reveals on, which has more than doubled its total user base in the last year or so. And they've also really put a huge emphasis recently into the metaverse, and specifically the biggest piece that we're seeing is Nike Land in Roblox. Now, they have seen truly crazy growth in that area. One of the pieces being with the NBA All-Star weekend that just recently happened. They had LeBron James attending and providing, coaching and mentorship to people that were on the platform. So they're really growing themselves in this area, and I think they're going to position themselves to be a leader in the long term in the online world. So while I think Nike has a ton of opportunity for us to make money as a stock as a whole, ultimately we're here to see how I can make $1,000 every single month with Nike. So let's dive into it. So step number one for us is going to be looking at Nike's annual dividend. As we can see, they pay $1.22 every year, but it has been about a year since Nike has made any recent announcements in regards to the potential increase of their dividend. So we have seen historically around a 10 to 12% change. So if they were to do that again, we can hopefully see this number increase, which will obviously decrease the total amount of upfront costs that we'll have to get $1,000 per month from Nike. Now, I built this really simple sheet here to calculate how much money we need to put into Nike to be able to receive $1,000 every month, or roughly $12,000 worth of income annually, as they do only pay once a quarter. So first we just have to put in that annual payout. So right now Nike is paying $1.22, which calculates for us that we need 9,836 shares. So hopefully you can kind of see where this is going. It's going to be quite expensive going forward, but we want to know how much we need to put into Nike. So let's put in that total cost per share so we can see that total investment that we're going to need. So right now Nike costs $125.04 at market close. So that translates into $1.229 million for us to receive $1,000 a month in dividends from Nike. Now, I know that seems like just an unreal amount of money, and we won't obviously be doing that because we don't have that money. But you need to remember, Nike pays a very, very small dividend of 0.98%. And if we were to diversify our portfolio, or to have a different company with a higher payout ratio, or just total increase in annual payout, we'll be able to get to that $1,000 a month much, much quicker. Hopefully you enjoyed today's deep dive into Nike and how we can make $1,000 a month with just owning Nike stock. If you did enjoy it and you'd like to see other content about this, please leave a comment down below and let me know which stocks you would like me to review next. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, as it helps me out a bunch. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Budget Investing.